Hi there again. This is the last extract from my book, NOMAD. You will find this assault quite horrific, which it was. The compensating factor was the instant generous assistance shown by all. NOMAD portrays a real-life experience which few people ever encounter, let alone survive. You will find this book both intriguing and amazing. Enjoy. The luminous hands on Terry's travel alarm clock read 3:30. She was petrified. The French doors were ajar, restricted from opening any further by the bed in which she was lying. There was a bamboo pole extended over her bed, and it had just lifted her red blouse off the door handle where she had placed it. The pole with blouse suspended passed in front of her face and disappeared out the door. She watched in horror. She was shaking. Even with the floodlighting, she could only make out one person through the opaque glass. As soon as the pole and blouse disappeared, she silently, quickly eased out of bed and ran straight to Marie and Harry's room. She gently shook Harry's arm. He awoke suddenly, sitting up, bolt upright. Her nerves reacted and her heart raced. "Shh," she said, placing her finger across her lips. "There's someone breaking into my room," she whispered. By now Marie was sitting up too. "How many are out there, Terry?" Harry asked in whispered tones, throwing the covers back and quickly donning a pair of shorts to cover his nudity. He slipped into a pair of slip-on shoes. "I could only see one, Harry." "Right, I'll get the bastard." He knew Terry was experienced enough, and he was able to trust her observation. If she saw one, that meant there were probably two or three. His plantation experience gave him the knowledge of their likely mode of attack, should that be their intention. However, just in case. "Marie, call the cops. They might help sort things out when I catch these buggers." He unlocked the front door, raced across the veranda and round the corner, noting Terry's bedroom door was still ajar. No, they had gone. They must have had a key, he thought. Those deadlocks can't be picked. Passing the car park, he scanned the driveway. The hibiscus tunnel could not hide anyone. They must be down the back. Terry and Marie watched him head down the path towards their servant's house. They lost sight of him as he reached the perimeter of the floodlighting and the bushes obscured their view. They clung to each other with fear, knowing full well the dangers of this primitive New Guinea culture. As he neared Marcus's house, Harry noticed two murky figures ahead, and there was a rustle in the bushes on his left. His shoulders lurched back as he felt a terrifying icy feeling go down the full length of his spine. As he glanced back over his shoulder, two more figures appeared. "Shit! Why didn't I grab the baseball bat?" he chided himself. "Fucking hell, I see 6, and that probably means 12 at least. I'm bloody surrounded." He was surprised to hear himself saying it aloud at the same time as he was thinking, Marcus is either bailed up or dead already. The adrenaline started to pump as he recalled his plantation management training from years before. Whatever you do, don't run. Cover your back, smile, go for the ringleader, and don't show any fear. Easier said than done. Thank God for the adrenaline. He smiled to himself and remained cool. As his eyes began to adjust to the darkness, he realized the natives were closing in on him. In the expectation that he would break and run, then with their fleet-footedness, they would cut him down from behind. He kept Marcus's house firmly at his back. Come on, you old motherfuckers. You want to fight me? Come and get me. Who's your leader? He's got no balls. Harry taunted in pidgin English. Sure enough, their leader showed himself, armed with a club over his shoulder and his face painted black, with glistening skin from the liberal coating of pig grease, and plumes of the bird of paradise feathers flowing from his headdress. He was certainly a disconcerting figure. He was now just slightly ahead of the pack, quietly issuing orders to his followers in their native tongue. Harry noted the ugly-looking club over his shoulder. No, it was a long-handled axe, an even more uncomfortable sight. The tribesmen in their traditional ass-grass skirts and headdress glimmered as their greased bodies moved through the tree-mottled moonlight. They too were armed for a fight, some with bows and arrows, and others with war clubs or axes. It was one of those split seconds of clarity that come in times of extreme danger. Harry wondered why these tribesmen in full traditional war dress had a key to his house. If they were just committing a burglary, there would be no point in having a key. And all this worried him. The only people who have a key are the owners of the property, John and Joe Lay, his co-directors. He put it aside. Right now he had other things to think about. Harry mentally lined up the leader. As soon as he was within range, he was going to get the hardest right that Harry could possibly throw. It was his only chance. He had to take out the leader, then perhaps the others would take fright and possibly clear out. The attack cry went out and an arrow thudded into his left shoulder and threw him back against the wall. The barbs began settling themselves into his flesh. The pain had not registered and his adrenaline kept him focused on the leader. There was nowhere to go. He could not escape. He was trapped. The primal attack instinct was instant. Harry left the protection of the wall and with a blood-curdling yell leapt into the fray. As their leader raised his axe, Harry's right fist caught him square on the jaw and down he went. Immediately the other tribesmen rushed in from behind Harry and their clubs descended in unison, splitting, crushing, smashing, one on top of the other. It was all over in a minute. He went down on his knees, trying to keep focused, struggling to retain consciousness. It would be so easy, so comfortable, just to sink to the ground and stay there. But there was another vivid vision filtering through the haze. Marie and the children. He must get back. New Guinea, like every place you've never been. This was an extremely proud moment for everyone. The dream, a reality. Booker was secretary for the largest shareholder, but Harry had legal control, and this infuriated him. He was a very proud man,